Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Carl from Planet 40k, and today we're going to be discussing the latest Necron Codex previews from Warhammer Community. Before I begin, I just wanted to mention that we've just begun a Patreon service. The link is in the description below, so if you would like to support our content, go check that out. You'll find all different types of benefits there, such as early access to the videos, the Planet 40k Discord server, shout outs, and we also wanted to get the community involved in our Planet 40k 5-star reviews by setting up polls for the people to vote in, and then we take those results from the polls and put them in our review videos. So go check that out if there's something you'd be interested in. Anyway, back to the video today. So Warhammer Community finally dropped the main rule for the Necron Codex, which is Reanimation Protocols. It took a few goes at reading it to make sense of it, so let's break it down piece by piece. So firstly, we saw from the White Dwarf leak a week or so ago that they confirmed that as soon as an enemy finishes its attack, whether it's shooting or in combat, they basically enact reanimation protocols with your unit, providing that you still have at least one model in the unit remaining. But from the article here, you can see that only models that fell to that exact attack can take the reanimation protocol. Also, there's another change to reanimation protocol. So firstly, you roll a d6 for the combined amount of wounds of the models that fell. So for example, if you lost 5 immortals, that they all 1 wound apiece, so that would be 5 wounds, so 5 dice. So you're rolling a d6 and any 5+ rolls will go into a pool. So from that pool, you effectively allocate wounds back to your fallen models from that particular attack, but you must get each model back to the full wounds to get it to stand back up. And any dice that are left over after all the models have stood up are discarded, or if you run out of dice while allocating them from your pool, then of course the remaining fallen models have failed to reassemble and they've died. They also noted that you cannot modify the reanimation protocol roll by more than +1 or -1. I'm not quite sure what abilities can make the roll worse with the -1. But straight away I'm getting the feeling that the Synaptic Reanimator is worse than I previously thought, as it cannot stack with the Cryptex with the +1, unless there's something else that gives it another -1 modifier. I'm not quite sure what can do that in this moment in time. So this rule feels like a bit of a nerf to me. You can't reanimate previously killed models that were within the unit, and not only that, if you have a multi-wound model such as a Hexmark Destroyer and 1 falls within that squad, because they've got 3 wounds apiece, you get 3 dice to roll. But in order to get it to stand up, you need to get it to full wound, so you will need a 5+ on all 3 of the dice, otherwise it's dead. Although as for single wound models such as Immortals and Warriors, Reanimation Protocol seems a little bit better for these models because they're doing it every phase that they get attacked in rather than once per turn. It feels much like a feel no pain roll now, only difference is you're doing it once rather than for all the damage combined. Anyway, moving on, so they then explained a little bit more about the command protocols. So before the game starts, you secretly assign one of the 6 protocols for each of your 5 battle rounds. Then when you get to each battle round, you select from 2 directives. Any unit within 6 inches of a Necron character gains the benefits from the directive. So it's not an army-wide buff, unfortunately, so that makes your characters quite a bit more important than they previously were. And they then went on to give a new example of a command protocol called the Protocol of Sudden Storm. So in this Protocol of Sudden Storm, you can either choose Directive 1, which is add 1 inch to the move characteristic of models in this unit, or Directive 2. If this unit is performing an action, it can still make attacks with ranged weapons without that action failing. That's pretty nice there. So next on the agenda was a little bit more about the Hexmark Destroyers. So they touched upon the weapons that they're going to be having now. So each one of these Hexmark Destroyers is going to have 6 of these Enmitic Disintegrator pistols. There's going to be 6 of those per model. So they are 18-inch range, pistol 1, strength 6, -1 AP and 1 damage. So 6 of those is pretty tasty at strength 6. They've also got a multi-threat eliminator, so each time an enemy model is destroyed by a ranged attack made by this model's Enmitic Disintegrator pistols, after the model makes the rest of its attacks, it can shoot with one of its Enmitic Disintegrator pistols 1 additional time. These attacks cannot generate more additional attacks. So the next thing that they went through, something that I personally have been waiting for, because I love the model, they went through the bit of the Monolith with its weapon options, and they also confirmed that it will have an additional 4 wounds So I make that 24 wounds. That's pretty mega. So it has a new weapon option, which is the Death Ray, which can replace the Gauss Flux Arc. So the Death Ray is 24 inches, heavy 1, strength 9, minus 3 AP, and the damage is D3 plus 3. So it's a minimum 4 damage. So the Particle Whip has actually increased in its range. It's now up to 36 inch range. It was 24, although it's D6 shots rather than straight heavy 6 now. Although it's strength 12 rather than strength 8. Minus 3 AP rather than minus 2 AP. Damage 3, whereas it previously was D3. So even though you're getting a few less hits there, it's pretty epic then. It's got the blast keyword. So the Portal of Exile is now classed as a melee weapon. Strength user, minus 3 AP, damage 3. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, you automatically hit the target. Pretty good as well. So they didn't give much else away about the abilities and whatnot. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. So next up was another new model with a Catan Shard of the Void Dragon. Beautiful model, and they have released its stats, its weapons and some abilities. So it's movement 8, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 9, attacks 5, leadership 10 and 3+ save. So it's got the Spear of the Void Dragon, which is both shooting and melee. It's a strength 9 weapon there. So they're giving this guy a 4+ invuln save as well, and in addition, this model cannot lose more than 3 wounds in the same phase, which that's pretty epic. That's going to keep him alive, especially when he's got 9 wounds as well. And his other ability that they showcased was at the end of each phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy vehicle model that was destroyed as a result of the attacks made by this model, or a Catan power used by this model on that phase. For each 2+, the model regains 1 lost wound to a maximum of 3 per phase. So that's pretty epic as well. This guy's going to be staying around. So that's the last part of the article. That wraps up the preview from the Warhammer community. There's a lot of interesting stuff there. I'm not over the moon in regards to the Reanimation Protocols rule, but I don't believe we have seen the full story with that. I mean, we don't know what the Resurrection Orb does, or what Ghost Arcs do, or Rites of Reanimation. How do you get the negative modifier to the reanimation roll, and what sort of stratagems are there going to be that interact with the Reanimation Protocol roll? So we're just going to have to wait and see when the codex drops. Let us know in the comments on your thoughts and feelings towards a new Reanimation Protocol. So I'm quite interested to hear what you guys have got to say about it. Just a little reminder, if you've yet to subscribe, you're not too late. We will be smashing out plenty of content once the codex does get released, which I believe is the 10th of October. And you can pre-order from the 3rd of October. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.